What's up, guys? This is Chad Robichaux with the Robo Show, and I'm super excited today because I'm here with my son, Hunter Robichaux, another Robo for the Robo Show,
That's right.
and it's really exciting because we not only is Hunter my son, but he's also a third generation Marine. My father's a Marine. You heard me say many times, infantry Marine. And then served as a Force Recon Marine, and then Hunter was our served ended up serving as an ANGLICO Marine, and then his younger brother, which my youngest son Hayden, is a Marine as well right now, about to go through his MOS school. Hunter served as a ANGLICO Marine, which for those who don't know is ANGLICO's Air Naval Gunfire Liaison Company. One of the bits of advice that he took that I gave was, he's like, "What should I do in the Marine Corps?" And I was like, "ANGLICO, it's a good job for." I thought it was a good fit for him, and he loved it. And he even got to go to Afghanistan, which was his first deployment. For me, it was my ninth deployment. My first 8 were super easy because it was me. And then as a dad, sending your son to Afghanistan was not easy. It was tough. And but he made me super proud. Got reports from some of my friends who were involved in his unit that was able to let me know what was going on and how he was doing and brag about him a little bit. It's pretty cool. It's a weird experience. In addition to that, he's also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I could validate that because I tied it on myself. Made him wait. How long did you wait?
A long time.
20,
Yeah, 21 years.
21 years of on the mats before he got his black belt. And he just had to. We just both competed last night in Sub 100 Pro showdown in Houston, Pro Jiu-Jitsu tournament match, and we both competed last night. And he did his first black belt match against a pretty seasoned black belt, and he took a tough match on his first match and ended up pulling a draw, but performed really well. In my opinion, it was sub only, so he couldn't win. But in my opinion, he would have won in a points match, which you don't know because it wasn't a points match. So,
Yeah.
But he just looked really good. I was super proud. And so in last thing, your job, you work for Mighty Oaks now. We work together, and I enjoy doing life with you. I love being your dad. One of the greatest gifts that God's blessed me with, but I also love working with you and just getting to spend a lot of time with you. So tell us, I kind of gave a big intro, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's pretty cool having a Robo Show. Never thought I would be on a podcast, let alone the Robo podcast. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, guys, I'm obviously Hunter Robichaux. I grew up around the Marine Corps, so knowing what the Marine Corps is like and growing up around it, I wanted a piece of that cake. I wanted to join the world's finest and best gun club. So from a little kid, I knew that was my goal in life, was to be a United States Marine. So growing up, I definitely tried to get myself ready for that, and I got really into wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Started wrestling when I was 3, and then Jiu-Jitsu when I was 4. And I was by the time I was about 4.5, 5 years old, I was doing competitions, and these weren't just little competitions. These were Colorado State championships, and I was going after titles, and I did that all the way up until I joined the Marine Corps. And I joined the Marine Corps at the beginning of 2015, and I felt like that was awesome. I felt like that was the goal that I set, and I accomplished that goal. And I joined the Marine Corps Reserves. So when I got done with all my training, I was awarded with my job, which was 0861 Forward Observer. For those of you who don't know what a Forward Observer is, I basically control artillery, naval guns, and in my unit, ANGLICO, we specialize in close air support. So that was what I was trained to do, and I absolutely loved my job. I can look back at it now and say I have absolutely no regrets of choosing the job that I was able to do in the Marine Corps. I checked in with 3rd ANGLICO Air Naval Gunfire Liaison Company, and I had a good friend there that actually came through Mighty Oaks, Shep. And Shep was this salty gunny that was there, and he was always trying to push me to be the best possible Anglican that I could be. And one of the very first training events that I had at my unit, he asked me what was the max burn time for an aluminum round, and I didn't know. And he asked me in front of all of my command, and all of them just scorched me for it. But I remember that's the day that I knew like I was expected to know my job and how to do it right. And looking back at that, I look at how I can implement that into my life. And there's so many things that you have to know in life, and know that you can be wrong sometimes, but you got to learn from your mistakes. So looking back at all this incredible leadership I've had in the Marine Corps, that was something that I wanted, that brotherhood and that leadership. And then I finally was able to deploy to Afghanistan. I deployed to northeastern Afghanistan in Parwan province. I was part of the Georgian liaison team, Roto 9, and we were able to...
which is just working with the Georgians.
Exactly, yeah. So we were embedded with the Georgians, and basically we were in charge of all of their fire support. So obviously we were in Afghanistan, so we didn't have any naval gunfire. There's no ships out there. So we had a whole lot of aircraft and a little bit of artillery. So we had some howitzers, some 105s, and then we had F-16s, Apaches, A-10s, some cool stuff out there working with us, and some drones that I'm not going to get into because there are all kinds of crazy numbers and letters. But yeah, we actually got to do quite a bit of work over in Parwan, and it was a great time. I definitely got to learn a lot about myself and my team, about how an ANGLICO team operates in combat compared to what it's like on the home side, where you're training and you're just kind of sitting around just doing these close air support missions on 29 Palms and Camp Pendleton or Lejeune, and actually getting out there in the field and actually seeing that Apache come over your head and put some rounds on target, and that F-16 up in the air dropping flares and coming in at 500 feet AGL and doing a gun run. It's absolutely insane. And looking back at that now, I'm like, man, like that is so awesome that they allowed a 21-year-old kid, because I was a kid, like allowing this 21-year-old kid to go there and have the hooks with an F-16 or an A-10, this multi-million-dollar jet, and putting that into the trust of a 21-year-old and having that JTAC basically telling you, hey, I'm tired right now and I'm bored. I need to control this aircraft. It's an absolute like mind blower to think that I was able to do what I was able to do. It was a fun deployment. I'm not going to say it was an easy deployment, because I don't think any deployment to a combat zone can be easy. You're going to face hardships such as people dying, and you're going to see things that are hard to see. But I am grateful for the opportunity to serve my country and to make the brotherhood and the friendships that I was able to make, not only with my fellow Marines, but with the Georgians. I love how Green Berets get to go operate with foreign militaries, and they form these relationships with guys that are fighting for their country. And that's kind of, ANGLICO obviously isn't the same mission as Green Berets. Their missions are very sophisticated, and they're very good at their job. But I feel like ANGLICO was able to kind of get a piece of that cake, kind of see what Green Berets do and work with that foreign military. It was pretty awesome, because we weren't only working with Georgians, we were working with the Afghans too. So being able to see these Afghans in Afghanistan and talk to them to them about the things that they experience in their life.
Well, it's a very similar thing. I mean, Green Berets go in, they embed with the foreign local nationals, or whatever host nation they're in, and they train them to their militias to be war fighters and build the government and build the community and build a military fighting force, and they work in small teams to do that. And you guys work primarily, ANGLICO primarily just goes and provides the fire support capabilities to foreign nationals.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're not gonna let Afghans. Sorry to all my Afghan friends out there, but we're not giving you a hot mic and letting you call in an F-16.
Yeah. There's definitely no cleared hot for an Afghan. Yeah. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not going to be dropping a GBU-54 on anything besides themselves, possibly.
Possibly. That's probably what happened. So, so we the Marine Corps, it's just an awesome job in the Marine Corps. I remember when you were looking at what jobs to do, I thought this would be great for you. Yeah. And I'm glad you did it. And then your younger brother, Hayden, my youngest son, is he's going to crash fire rescue, another cool job. Well, one of the reasons I want you to come on to do the show is I want to talk about the different generations of you and I. You're my sons, so we're 21 years apart. And then Hayden's a few years behind. He's 24 years younger than me. And you and I served in the same war in Afghanistan. So I grew up much different than you grew up. I could say that pretty accurately because I experienced you growing up and I experienced me growing up. We grew up very differently, and I think I think as we go on, and there's different cultures and different generations or say, well, I had it harder or you had it easier, but I think it's just not harder or easier. It's just different, and I think that gives some pros and cons to the different generations that go in the military today. And so I want to talk to you about some of the, what's some pros, some cons of this generation's ability to serve, our nation, because we need young men and women to raise their hand and make an oath to serve our nation to protect, our freedoms in America, both foreign and domestic. It's very important that they do that. But it's a very small population that does it. It's only 0.5% of the military. Only 0.5% of the U.S. population serves in the United States military. And so you take in the best of our culture. I believe it's the best of our culture. And they raise their hand to make an oath to serve, and then they serve. But it seems today like I'm hearing that a lot of them have trouble acclimating from their life as 17, 18, 20-year-old civilians into being a Marine or airman or a soldier or a sailor. And then so I hear that some of them have trouble acclimating. But then I go down to a place like BRC and watch these young kids graduate, and they're like studs. Like, it's incredible. And someone like you said, 21 years old, able to call in close air support in Afghanistan and put bombs on targets. And some of those missions. I haven't talked a lot about it, but some of those missions are like danger close missions and stuff. This is crazy stuff. I was down at Recon Battalion. I was speaking on at First Recon Battalion just a few months ago, and we were talking about free fall jumping, and I was talking about some of the changes and advances, and they're like, yeah, there was this 19-year-old Lance Corporal who jumped a 500-pound barrel. Those who don't know about free fall jumping, sometimes you can jump your free fall, you have all your gear, but then sometimes you strap yourself to a barrel and called bundle jumping, and carry it through the sky. This 19-year-old kid, they had video of him, Lance Corporal, jumping at 32,000 feet in the middle of the night with a 500-pound barrel strapped to him. The amount of skill and technique of skydiving that takes is absolutely incredible. And you think, where do these young kids like this come from? So I'm hearing both sides. I'm hearing that some kids aren't cutting it, they're not able to acclimate, and then you hear about kids like and I say kids because if you dropping bombs on targets, you're not a kid. If you're jumping out of an airplane at 32,000 feet with a 500-pound barrel, you're probably not a kid. But young heroes, what do you see? What's the pros and cons that you see?
Yeah, so obviously we're in a different time. So the guys, obviously, that went to World War II, Vietnam.
2001 Afghanistan?
2001 Afghanistan.
Totally different, yeah.
Totally different than now the new age, I should say. What is it? Gen Z is the new. There's millennial.
I just know you guys wear funny clothes like skinny jeans.
That's
and stuff
right.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, I think maturity is one of the things that can play into this. Going back to World War II and Vietnam, most of these guys that went into the military were definitely, I think, a little more rough and tough. But now we have guys and women that are joining the military that are not only rough and tough, but they are also smart. I believe that the United States has definitely took a different approach on how children are taught in school all the way through high school. And I personally had a rough time in high school. Like, I'm not good with school, but I feel like we have a generation that is currently serving in the United States military that is smart. And an example of this is technology. So the Marine Corps had, and not just the Marine Corps, but the entire military itself has definitely upgraded a lot of our stuff for technology. So we have stuff that works with aircraft, and it goes into a tablet. And you're looking at this tablet, and I'm not going to get too much into this, but if you were to take a guy that joined the Marine Corps in 2001 or 2003, and say, hey, I need you to work this tablet, he's going to be like, what is this thing? How do I work this?
Yeah, I have trouble working my iPhone.
Exactly.
You guys are using tablets to call in there.
Exactly. So now you have a 19-year-old that's working in an FDC or FSCC for artillery.
What's that?
So Fire Direction Center, all right? So you have this computer, and this guy's inputting all the stuff into his computer and sending it to the gun line. Obviously, they were doing this back in the day, but now there's so much technology involved in everything.
It's faster.
It's faster, exactly, and it's more accurate, and it protects the observer on the hill from getting rounds on his position. And it's amazing to see how much technology can help on the battlefield. And I think our younger generation, that's going to be...
They have the ability to implement that technology.
Yeah, the ability...
Cavemen like me can't.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty awesome to see this generation that was playing Xbox probably 6 months ago, and now they're in Afghanistan controlling drones. All right, drones are a huge thing we're using right now because you don't have to put boots on the ground. You can have a kid in a box in Nevada flying this drone, dropping bombs, land it back in some Middle Eastern country, and he goes back home. It's a video game to them. So you have these kids that know how to use their technology, and it's so effective. And going back to that, it's them being smart, them knowing how to use that.
This episode of the Robo Show is brought to you by ARN-neck.com. ARN-neck is the world's #1 neck strengthening device. You guys don't know, in 2006, I was in Afghanistan and broke my neck. And if you want to read about that story, a crazy story of how I broke my neck, it's in my book, Unfair Advantage. You can go and check it out. But coming back from Afghanistan, after that's when I had all my big MMA fights and my neck. And the VA wanted to do fusion, and I refused to do fusion, and I just opted to just strengthen my neck, keep my neck strong. So since, all these years fighting through all my fights in MMA and jiu-jitsu, I've always been very important that I keep the muscles of my neck strong because the bones in my neck are broken off, and so I don't have that stability. And so neck strengthening has always been a very important thing to me. I've always just improvised ways to do it, using body weight, using different kind of improvised things that I'd make up. But now I don't have to do that anymore because I have an ARN-neck device, which helps me to not only strengthen my neck, but do it in a safe way. The way the device works is it's on a rotator, so as you move your neck, the point of where the tension is actually moves around your head, and so super effective and safe way to strengthen your neck. And whether you have a neck injury or not, I think in sports or just in life, it's really important to have a good, strong neck. If your neck's strong, your hips are strong, your body's going to be strong. And so check it out, ARN-neck.com. If you enter promo code Robichaux, ROBICHAUX, my last name, you'll get 10% off. And I'm really doing this because I love it myself, and I want everybody out there, especially those with bad necks, to be able to take care of themselves. And so I really thought it was a great product to push out and partner with. And these guys are pretty awesome. They're a Texas-based company. ARN-neck.com.
I wanted to take a minute to let our audience know about the work that we do through an incredible veterans nonprofit called the Mighty Oaks Foundation. Many of our nation's warriors struggle with the hardships of military service and reintegration back into civilian life. Often they leave broken homes in their aftermath and comprise one of the most at-risk groups for suicide, with over 20 veterans who take their lives every single day. Mighty Oaks tackles this critical issue with our faith-based, peer-to-peer resiliency and recovery programs offered at no cost to our honored servicemen and women at beautiful ranches across the United States. Mighty Oaks has one of the highest success rates of any program available anywhere. Visit mightyoaksprograms.org to learn more about how you can make a direct impact in the lives of our servicemen and women to help them find a new life purpose through hope in Christ. Again, that's mightyoaksprograms.org. Witnessing the transformation that these men and women go through is absolutely incredible. There are no words to describe seeing warriors restored to the lives they were created to live, changing their legacies for eternity. Your support is needed now more than ever and will ensure that our programs are here for our warriors who are in desperate need. Again, the website is mightyoaksprograms.org.
Yeah, because you can be a grumpy old guy like me and look at it and say, like, I grew up, like, I I went home as a kid when the street lights came on.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't a time or anything like that. No, we didn't have to worry about kidnappings and just went out and caused ruckus, beat up each other in fist fights, and built stuff in the woods and that kind of thing. And when you guys grew up, we were like, not that we sheltered you guys and let you guys have a rough childhood too, but there was definitely some sheltering as far as like making sure you guys were safe. And I even made you wear a bicycle helmet, which thank God I did. I didn't know anything about bicycle helmet when I was a kid. I think we just look at your generation as like soft. If we're just being honest, like I think people from my generation look at your generation like softer, weaker, more sheltered, maybe even entitled, because culture's different now. Things come a little bit easier.
Well, I can get into this and prove that. Like, I know some people say my generation is soft, but I have seen Marines my age in combat operate in a way that was not soft. I had a Marine, he's a really, really close friend of mine. He got in a shooting while we were in Afghanistan, and the amount of courage and ferociousness that is needed to survive on the battlefield was like no other I've ever seen before. And I'm not gonna tell the combat story, but seeing that Marine operate, I knew that there is no difference between how a Marine operates right now compared to how a Marine operated in World War II.
Yeah.
Because when you go to combat is not pretty. You see things that are not pretty. So you have to operate to survive. And I was able to see that Marine grow up and save his fellow Marines and do a selfless act, and he ultimately saved the day.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with that Marine too, and I'm super proud of him. That's what I said. I think a lot of people like from my generation say that, but I think it's a mistake, and I think what you're saying is exactly right. Because I've seen, just read some of the citations of what these Navy Cross citations that come out, and some of the Medal of Valor citations is just. It's crazy acts of heroism. One of the things I was thinking as we were prepping for this is wow, I grew up in a time where, we didn't have all the rules and safety and all that stuff. You grew up in a time where sports in America is like very organized sports, and I think organized sports are a really good thing. And we're in Texas right now, and. Man, the way they take sports so serious.
Oh yeah, don't mess with football
or baseball. Yeah, I remember one time I was in Afghanistan, and mom called me in Afghanistan, and she's all upset because they yelled at you and kicked off the field of baseball. And what had happened was you had never played before. They put you out there, and you had wrestled.
That's
and
right.
So you come out to Texas and doing baseball, and somebody hit a first base hit, and you just dropped your glove and did a double leg takedown and tackle.
Yeah, all I knew was to not let them get to first base, and the only thing between me and him was my double leg. So.
Yeah, Mom called me all upset because it's like they were saying he didn't know what he was doing and kicked them off. I'm like, did he get a takedown? Was it get 2 points? Yeah, they take their sports serious here, but I think like organized sports in general make when kids participate in that, they become more coachable kids and more trainable kids. And I was a guest speaker at basic recon course graduation, and I was like looking at all these guys graduating, and I got to hand being a guest speaker. I gave my speech, and I got to hand all the certificates to the new recon Marines and shake their hands, and all of them had just like meaty hands, just graduated at BRC. Their hands are just strong and all chafed still from the ocean, from being in the ocean for so long. And I remember thinking, like, these guys are studs. Like, they're like all athletes. And I was, a lot different when I graduated BRC. I graduated BRC up broken, man. They broke me down. They did not. I went there running a 16:30 3-mile and graduated like a 21-minute 3-mile. They like literally broke me. Now you graduate BRC and they build you up, you make you stronger. It's just as hard, if not even harder. But it's just a good program. And I was talking to one of the main instructors there, a buddy of mine, and he said a lot of these kids just grew up as athletes, and they're conditioned to be coached. And when they take that approach as an instructor at these schools, they take the coaching approach. The kids these days really respond to that well, and they're able to produce solid operators, recon Marines.
Yeah.
And so, and I know you been in sports, been coach since you were. I was one of your coaches since you were 4.
I think a big part of being involved in not only combat sports, but baseball, football, you obviously learn how to work as a team.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's huge in the Marine Corps is you have to be humble and you have to be selfless. And just like I can't say because I have never played football or baseball. We all know how my baseball career went. Yep. Played for the Padres back in 2004. But yeah, obviously you learn how to work as a team and operate as a team, and that's something that's needed in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, team, sports brings team atmosphere and team concept in play. Well, awesome. I mean, we continue on this. We could banter back and forth. And video games are good for kids or not. But I think you might win the argument with the fact that video games give some kids some sense of use of technology.
They say all the Apache pilots right now, the best Apache pilots are the guys that played like all the Call of Duty games, because when you're up in the cockpit of an Apache using the gun, they say it's like a video game. So I can't attest to that because I've never been in the cockpit of an Apache using one of their guns, but hey, they're good pilots.
I still don't like them. I think they're a waste of your time. If you're playing video games, put it down, go outside.
That's right.
Kill something, build something.
Yep.
Do something productive. Get off the video game.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not here saying go play video games. Get outside and enjoy nature.
But I guess there is something to be said about the acclimation technology, though.
Exactly.
So, well, hey, anything we missed? Anything you want to add?
No, I would say our generation, the generation that's currently in the Marine Corps and getting into the Marine Corps, guys that were born after 9/11. Those are the guys that are in the Marine Corps right now. Those are the guys that are going to be fighting our next big war. And
isn't that crazy?
That's so crazy.
Guys are fighting a war and retaliation for something that happened before they were born. So we something we did wrong that we're not out of there yet. No. I mean, I'm all about by the way, I say that and say I fully support 1,000% any of our men and women that are out there deployed right now in Afghanistan. But I challenge those in Washington, D.C., the motivation of us still being there. It's for us, you being my son and us both served in the same war in the same combat theater for the same reasons is too long, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Time to bring these guys home. Before we get off, I want to make sure we didn't really talk about it, where you work right now.
Yeah, so after that deployment, get home, and I was...
you went to Bible college, too,
yeah, so I went to Bible college for 2 years, Calvary Chapel Bible College in Murrieta, California, and didn't complete it, but definitely that was something I needed in my life, and that was something that drew me closer to the Lord and solidified my relationship with Jesus Christ. And I knew from that moment on that I would somehow, in some way, shape, or form, be involved in ministry. At that time, I was interning for Mighty Oaks. I wasn't the best intern, I'll say that publicly. But I had two guys, Brandon Kunith and Chris Carlisle, definitely pushing me daily to work hard. And unfortunately, we lost Chris a few years ago in a motorcycle accident. But I knew that I wanted his legacy to live on somehow. So I was like, all right, when I get home, I have this calling to go into ministry. So I started working for Mighty Oaks, and I started working for the basically donations team, and I was a community outreach coordinator. Well, things got good, and I got promoted last year to the donor relations manager. And I absolutely love my job. I get to work. I get to make calls to people. I get to be that one-on-one connection from Mighty Oaks to our donors. And it's such a blessing to be in a position where I can say I love my job. I don't have to dread waking up every morning, going into my office and be like, dang, now I just got to go work. I absolutely love it because I get to see the change in men and women's lives that come through Mighty Oaks through a relationship with Jesus Christ, because that is what I have personally seen, and that is what I know is true, is that every man or woman that has a relationship with Jesus Christ will find hope and restoration. And I'm not saying your life will be easy, but I am saying that you are going to have a life that is fulfilled.
Yeah, and ultimately that's where you'll find your purpose. You can
Yeah.
be,
Yep.
if you have a relationship with the Creator, you can be who you're actually created to be.
Yeah.
And that's what it's so it's awesome you talk about Mighty Oaks that way. I'm super proud of you. By the way, for those that don't know about Mighty Oaks Foundation, Mighty Oaks Warrior Programs, go to mightyoaksprograms.org. Learn more about it. We do recovery programs. We have 5 different ranches around the country. We run 30 camps a year that are 6 days long for active duty warriors, veterans, and spouses. First responders as well. We do everything for free, including travel. We've had 4,000 graduates in the last 10 years, but now we're doing about 1,000 a year. So if you're interested in applying, you can apply, and we'll get you in a program. Again, we're doing 30 of them a year. If you're interested in helping, it's free for them. It's not free for us.
Exactly.
And so we pay like $2,500 per person. So we have a scholarship fund. That's one of the things Hunter's over. You could email Hunter through our website, mightyoaksprograms.org, or you can make a donation online and learn more how to support that. One of the other things we do, and I'm doing it this week, I'm going to 7th Special Forces Group and speak to the active duty warriors there on resiliency. And we've spoken to over 150,000 active duty troops doing that. Gave away about 100,000 copies of our books. And then we do a lot of stuff for policy, make sure we have the right policy for our veterans care. So you'll hear us from time to time on the show talk about Mighty Oaks because it's near and dear to my heart. It's what I exist on this planet to do, I believe, at this point in my life. And super, super happy you're on our team there to do it. And no favors with the family, no nepotism of the family favors there.
Yeah.
You have to, Hunter doesn't work directly for me. We have an amazing team at Mighty Oaks and able to do some amazing things. I'm super, super happy to have Hunter on board. Hunter is on social media, so anybody wants to follow him or reach out to him, he's on Instagram.
Hunter Robo 0861. That's my Instagram. And then if anybody wants to get a hold of me through email, my email is hunter@mightyoaksprograms.org.
Outstanding. All right, man. Love you. Great to have you on.
Love you, Dad.
And maybe one day we'll have me, you, and Hayden on here.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Hayden just became a Marine, and now he's about to go to craft fire rescue school.
It'd be cool one day to do that.
Get him for the younger generation podcast.
Younger. All right. All right. Thanks for listening. God bless.